This is ABC15 Mornings.
All right, be safe out there, everybody, because it is going to be another hot one.
Yes, an excessive heat warning is in effect as temperatures could climb to at least 110 degrees where you are or beyond again. This morning, we do remain in weather action mode to make sure you are aware and remaining safe. I'm Kaylee O'Kelly here, social distancing from the newsroom.
I'm Nick Saletti here in the studio today. Let's send things over to meteorologist Iris Hermosillo, who is social distancing from home today. And Iris, you are staying on top of what could be another day of dangerous heat.
Absolutely. You know, it's a combination of warmer mornings and very hot afternoons. Yesterday, another very hot day. And today we will feel similar, if not slightly hotter conditions by the afternoon. So can't stress enough the importance of keeping heat safety top of mind, whether it's getting those outdoor activities done early, making sure that you're packing some water with you. If you do have to be outdoors, maybe you're working outside, make sure that you're drinking water frequently. It's recommended that you drink about 4 cups of water every hour if you are being active. Of course, dress accordingly for the heat as well, and just can't stress enough the importance of bringing your pets indoors. Never leave your kids or pets inside the vehicle, of course, either. Now, we are waking up to warm temperatures in the 80s to 90s, but it's not as warm as it was yesterday, so that's a benefit. It's still looking hazy out there, though. We are still dealing with air quality concerns, too. So not only are we under a heat warning, we're back under an ozone high pollution advisory, too. Right now, it's 90 degrees in Phoenix, mid-80s in Chandler, temperatures in the 90s in Mesa. This afternoon, look for a high of 113 degrees. We'll talk about that hour-by-hour forecast in just minutes. But good morning, Chelsea. You've got an update on that morning drive.
Hey, good morning, Iris. Yes, that's right. I've been watching the roadways here for you. I know that you've mentioned it, and the anchors have mentioned it too, Kaylee and Nick, that we've seen a lot of fire activity out there this season. And so far, the Griffin fire now has US 60 closed, and that's in both directions, eastbound and westbound, between Phillips Mine Road and State Route 73. So just east of Globe as you're continuing your way east. So you're going to want to stick to State Route 87 and 260. Those are going to be your best friends either direction you need to go to get back into the valley or out of the valley. East Valley overall quiet flows. US 60 westbound near Mill Avenue. We had a report of some kind of incident going on the freeway. I keep watching it. I'm not seeing anything out there, not with our ADOT cameras at all. This crash is in the clearing, Loop 101 northbound at Indian Bend. It's off to the shoulder now. Originally, it was blocking the HOV lane. West side of town, North Valley, green flows. We do have another closure that's up north. I'll tell you more about that in just a few.
Okay, Chelsea, thank you. 2 minutes past tonight, major decisions could be made in Chandler. The school district superintendent sending out a video message to all parents saying the overall COVID-19 risk has moved into the moderate range and there could be a move toward hybrid learning. The governing board for Chandler Unified meeting tonight, and speaking before the board will be the executive director of Public Health for Maricopa County. Now, earlier this month, the board voted to forego in-person teaching until the second quarter, which is October 13th. Leaders from Mesa Public Schools meeting last night. The district still in the process of navigating a return to modified in-person learning. The target date appears to be September 14th if the recommended health benchmarks from state health officials are met. And the Gilbert School District also meeting Tuesday night. The district hoping to reopen to in-person learning September 8th using a hybrid model. Full-time in-person learning could start 2 weeks later.
There were parties all weekend on and off campus. Tempe police even cited nearly a dozen of them. And now comes what so many have feared, COVID-19 cases at ASU. Let's get out to Mark Thompson, who's staying on top of this for us. Mark, how many cases are we looking at?
Well, Nick, good morning to you. First of all, Arizona State University President Michael Crow revealing that there are 161 positive COVID-19 cases reported thus far on campus. But the worry now is that that number could be even greater. And this as the school has tested about 30,000 students and staff, but that's not even half as the campus is made up of 100,000 people.
I'm frustrated that the news isn't being communicated to us in a more proactive way. We didn't have to get the numbers today at all. There's absolutely a world where we just went on not knowing. So that's frustrating to me because there's very little sense of accountability that we'll actually know when things start to get really bad.
And we're told that one of these cases involves a student that lives at a Palo Verde West dorm, parents pushing for more answers.
I wonder how bad will it get before they actually say enough is enough. I'm sorry, we're going to have to close it.
And ASU's president is cracking down, saying that masks are now required on campus at all times, both inside buildings and outdoors. The school also implementing a no visitor policy inside the dorms, and students who attend large parties on or off campus, they could face suspension. And we're told that ASU will be launching a COVID-19 dashboard coming up very soon, and we're going to keep an eye on that, and we'll let you know exactly what that entails. Reporting live this morning, Mark Thompson, ABC15 Arizona. Back to you.
Mark, thank you. We're staying on top of breaking news this morning. Police in Kenosha, Wisconsin are looking for a gunman who shot 3 people. 2 of these victims have died. The other is still in the hospital. The shooting happening during recent protests. Police are looking at video and say they expect to make an arrest sometime today. Tonight will be the 4th night of protests over the shooting of Jacob Blake. He was shot at least 7 times by police and is paralyzed. Blake's legal team announced they will file a lawsuit against the police department. An overnight curfew remains in effect for the city of Kenosha. The Wisconsin governor declaring a state of emergency and doubled the National Guard deployment from 125 to 250. Much more coverage of the Jacob Blake shooting coming up on Good Morning America. Blake's mother will be on the show. Also, new eyewitness accounts of that shooting. Today, the Phoenix City Council is scheduled to vote on a number of issues, including a $475,000 civil rights abuse settlement for Drayvon Ames and his family. Video of their encounter with police made national headlines last year. Officers pulling guns on the family over a shoplifting call.
It is 6 minutes past the hour. New for you this morning, a high-tech system that could cut down your commute and make roads safer for everyone. Being tested right here in the Valley of the Sun. Our John Genovese live this morning near 16th Street in Glendale with this Operation Safe Roads report. And John, a year-long pilot program is just now kicking off.
Yeah, good morning, Kaylee. And this is using some cutting-edge technology, artificial intelligence, to actually monitor intersections and change traffic signals as need be. And engineers tell us there are 3 main goals: to shorten travel times, cut down on delays, and improve safety. Cutting down commutes and keeping cars moving. Most drivers would consider that paradise on the pavement, and a pilot program in Phoenix could be key.
Since we're able to use multiple sensors and multiple sensor technologies, we really have a total awareness of the intersection.
Chris Milster is with No Traffic, the company behind a new system using cameras, wireless signals, and special computer boxes to read for cars, trucks, bikes, and pedestrians and adjust traffic signals on the fly.
We use that data that feeds into our optimization engine. And what that does is that we do thousands of simulations per half second to determine the optimal scenario based on what the city wants to do.
A year-long test of the technology now beginning in Phoenix at 5 intersections along Glendale Avenue between Central and State Route 51. The project funded by the Maricopa Association of Governments Emerging Technology Program.
We want to deploy this technology in real-life busy condition. It has been tested elsewhere and proved to be very useful and very promising.
In another city, the company says the system was able to reduce traffic delay time by as much as 40%. That's what Phoenix engineers want to see happen on this corridor as well.
It is notoriously congested. Of course, this is before pre-COVID-19 times. Part of that, it's every day it's congested, saturated. Particularly in the AM and PM plants.
As time goes on, ASU, UArizona, and NAU researchers will compile the data and evaluate the system's performance. And Milster believes once it's up and running, drivers will be seeing more green more often.
So that vehicles aren't stopping and going and stopping and going and stopping and going, wearing out their cars. That's just not fun.
Yeah, the system was actually installed just a few days ago. Engineers tell us they'll let it learn traffic patterns for a few weeks before they flip that adaptive technology on. Now, in terms of safety, we're told the system can actually detect accidents and then alert first responders. And in the future, with the wireless features that it has, it could even notify drivers of a hazard ahead. Guys.
John Genovese, thank you. Valuable tools there. Next on ABC15 Mornings, he's already qualified to be on the ballot in 8 states. But truth be told, what does Kanye West have to do to make it on Arizona's ballot? Plus, why are so many people getting unemployment benefits without applying? Joe Ducey investigates why the problems haven't stopped. Welcome back. Kanye West admits his run for president is meant to help Donald Trump, and that's why the effort to get Kanye on the ballot in Arizona intensified over the last week. But truth be told, he doesn't have much time to do it. Here's ABC 15's Justin Pizzera.
When Team Trump barnstormed through Phoenix last week, the talk was all about how enthusiastic the president's support was in Arizona.
There is a silent majority. There are what we look at as the enthusiasm gap. And Donald Trump has the enthusiasm on his side. He still can pack arenas.
Truth be told, the race is close, with Biden narrowly leading. So while former state treasurer and Trump surrogate Jeff DeWitt was talking up the president, petition circulators were being recruited on social media to work for national ballot access in its bid to get Kanye West on Arizona's presidential ballot.
I think it's pretty transparent what this is, and it's an attempt by the Trump campaign and the Republicans to really try to confuse voters and take away some votes from the Biden campaign.
In the last few days, attempts to get West on the ballot in Wisconsin, where a Trump campaign attorney missed the filing deadline by mere seconds. Ohio, Illinois, and Montana all failed. Truth be told, in Arizona, independent candidates need signatures equal to 3% of all voters who are not registered as a Democrat or Republican. The Secretary of State's office says West would need 39,039 valid signatures to qualify. Any registered voter can sign the petition.
When you're talking about something this rushed and in such a compressed time frame, he's going to have to get twice as many signatures as that, if not more, to meet the validity rate.
With West reportedly willing to pay $8 for every valid signature, there are no shortage of circulators working the Phoenix and Tucson metro areas.
So yeah, you're talking anywhere, from $500,000 to $1 million maybe to get this thing going.
But all the money in the world does not beat the clock. The signatures must be turned into the Secretary of State's office by September 4th. For Truth Be Told, I'm Justin Pizzera, ABC 15, Arizona.
And a reminder, the deadline to register to vote in the 2020 election is October 5th.
Okay, well, time right now is 6:14 as we talk about that most accurate forecast. Man, we are still holding on to that 90 degrees officially at Phoenix Sky Harbor, so we may not drop out of those 90s. I'll keep you posted. I'm still holding on to hope, but it's possible that'll be as low as we go. But it is a little bit cooler than it was at this time yesterday. Not a lot, but a little bit cooler. The 72 our temperature in Payson. It's 50 degrees in Flagstaff, running a few degrees cooler there as well. 76 degrees in Kingman and Shiloh. Good morning. You're waking up to 59 degrees. Now, as you look across the rest of the valley, we are seeing widespread 80s. So even though Sky Harbor has yet to drop out of those 90s, at least we're down into the low to mid 80s in some spots. Apache Junction, that includes you. Good morning. You're checking in right at 82. In Chandler, we're right at 84 degrees. It's a little warmer in Tempe at 89. Scottsdale also checking in the upper 80s. With upper 80s in Goodyear, Deer Valley, you're checking in at 88. And Surprise, good morning. You're right at 86 degrees. So we're going to start off with these temperatures in the 80s, but then again, I think we're going to be back into the hundreds by as early as 10 o'clock this morning. So plan accordingly. The sooner you can get those outdoor activities done, the better. 100 will be our temperature by 10 a.m., 106 by lunchtime. Then we'll hit 110 by around 2 o'clock this afternoon before a high today of 113 degrees. We're in weather action mode as that reminder that you have to keep heat safety top of mind. Make sure that you're taking plenty of water with you as you head on out and about for your day. Our excessive heat warning remains in place for the Phoenix area through Friday evening. Now, it looks like today's records at least are safe, but that's because the record high, for example, is much higher today. The record high stands at 117 degrees set on this date back in 2011. So at least we're not going to be that hot, but again, we'll top out at 113. And our record warm low also stands. So far this morning, we've dropped to 90 degrees. Our record warm low for this date is 93 degrees, also set back on this date in 2011. So those records not in jeopardy for today, but we're likely going to keep adding to these counts, especially if we don't drop below 90 degrees this morning. So far this year, we're at 27 days with lows in the 90s, and we're at 47 days with highs at 110 or higher. We will definitely add to that 110 plus count, and again, it's possible we're going to add to that 90 degree count as well. Highs around the valley, 112 to 113 for most spots. Mesa, you hit 112. Tempe, you hit 113. 112 in Laveen, 112 in Deer Valley. Anthem and Cave Creek up to 108 this afternoon. Hotter in northwest Arizona, 117 today for Bullhead City, so keep yourself safe there as well. You're also under severe heat warning. 116 at Lake Havasu, 97 in Payson, and mid-80s today in Flagstaff. That excessive heat warning extends down south and to our west as well. I'm keeping a close eye on Desert Doppler radar. No rain anywhere in our state right now, but there is a chance for some thunderstorms here as we go into this afternoon. Our better chance for storms will again be over the higher terrain, north and east of the valley. But like yesterday and the day before, we've got to watch for some outflow winds that could bring some storms to the Phoenix area. There's at least a chance for a few spotty storms. Our chances aren't overly promising, so it's a kind of a wait and see type of day again, but it's possible we could see a few stray storms with gusty winds, some areas of blowing dust, and heavy rain possible. A 10% chance for storms today, a little drier Thursday and Friday, but then look at this. By Sunday into early next week, those storm chances gradually increase again, and our temperatures look to fall. We're talking highs at about 102 by Monday and Tuesday.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
All right, thanks so much, Iris. I'm watching the roadways here for you, and I promised I would tell you about that closure that was happening up in the high country. So let's get to that one. So I-40 is seeing a closure, not in both directions, only in the westbound direction at Grand Canyon Boulevard through Williams. And this is because of a crash. Not a ton of details. However, if you need to get by, there is an alternate you can take that's going to take you way out of the way, but reconnect you back onto I-40. I'm not going to quiz you on this one. It's a little complicated, but it's on the screen. State Route 73 southbound to westbound State Route 70, northbound on State Route 89, back to I-40. So hopefully you wrote that down. It's been on the screen for you. Also, if you're traveling through the north side of town right now, you won't run into many construction cones, which is great for this time of day. I-17 looks good. The 303 Carefree Highway, Loop 101. I-10 also seeing green flows, much better than yesterday. We had a lot of crashes on I-10 yesterday. Eastbound right now between the 303 to the mini stack will take you 20 minutes to go 23 miles. And your east side of town showing mostly green conditions as well. Now, if you do travel on US 60, we still have that closure just east of Globe. And if you travel all the way up to State Route 73 Junction, and this is for the Griffin fire, and this closure is in both directions. So State Route 87 and 260, keep those alternates in your back pocket. You're going to need them. I'll let you know when it's back open.
Chelsea, thank you. It is 6:19, the pandemic taking a real toll on our emotional well-being. That includes kids. A new program, though, here in the Valley is working to tackle the shortage of child psychiatrists. Phoenix Children's Hospital Network launching a program that trains pediatricians and primary care providers to screen, diagnose, and treat children living with depression, anxiety, and ADHD. It is free to healthcare providers within the hospital network.
Morning, scammers getting people's information. The state attorney general's office receiving more than 1,000 complaints of unemployment insurance fraud.
Plus, we've seen racial disparity with adults when it comes to the coronavirus. This morning, a report showing the same is happening among children. Okay, so why are so many people still getting those unemployment debit cards when they never applied? This morning, our Rebound Arizona team is taking a closer look at what the agency in charge is saying that they're doing to stop this and why it continues. Here's Let Joe Know's Joe Ducey.
That's the way it came. And when I opened it,
out came a big surprise with Elena Morano's name on it, a debit card to collect unemployment insurance. Elena's been retired for 12 years.
I have nothing to do with the ES and unemployment.
Could you use that money?
Of course.
But Holly Barnes knows it's not hers. She never applied.
I'm thinking, did my job lay me off and I didn't know about it?
More than 400 people now tell us they received these unemployment debit cards but never applied, some for more than $8,000. The Department of Economic Security told us it stopped. The protocol changed, but it continues. Holly, Elena, and many others say they just got those cards. DES tells us if a card is sent because of incorrect banking information, it will have no value. But if someone files a claim and their payment selection is for a debit card, they can't prevent it from being mailed, even if the claim is fraudulent. The State Attorney General's office says since June, they've received more than 1,000 complaints related to unemployment insurance fraud.
It was rather surprising.
Tom Hannon also got a money card. He doesn't know where scammers got his information, but knows he was a victim in that huge Equifax breach 3 years ago. Others who got these cards without applying told us the same thing. About that Equifax connection to the fraud, the Attorney General's office only says information from data breaches could be used, but limiting it to one breach wouldn't be accurate. We'll continue to investigate why 6 months later, this is still an issue. If you've got a problem with it, rebound at ABC15.com or the Rebound Arizona. I'm Joe Ducey. If you've got a problem, let me know.
Joe, thank you. New this morning, Facebook is expanding its e-commerce features. The company is testing a new section called Facebook Shop. It would be easier for users to find products from a variety of businesses. It's a similar feature to Instagram Shop. Sellers would be able to communicate with customers through Messenger and host live shopping events.
New for you this morning, everyone counts. Ahead, after decades of undercounting, the growing push to make sure Native Americans are represented in the census.
Also, the growing need for access to quality health care, an alarming CDC report highlighting children of color being hospitalized from COVID-19 at rates higher than white children. We're going to break this down.